those ships aren't moving. We're frozen in time. Hey everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at Robocraft. Free-to-play game that came out through Steam Greenlight and Early Access at the beginning of July. And it's had a couple of months to kind of get things going, so thought we'd take a quick look at it here and see what's going on. First off, they're not robots. Let's just get that out of the way. Tanks and airplanes and stuff made out of cubes are not robots. That's all the complaining I'm going to do about that. But yeah. That aside, so the main hook here is building these, like I said, tanks, or there's also like hover airship type things that you can build and stuff. But it's out of these various cubic type pieces and stuff. And you can get more of these. Those are what I have in my inventory. There's a tech tree here, and this is kind of how you go through and unlock new parts. Through playing the battles, you'll get tech points and stuff to spend here in the tech tree. That's these little stars. Multiple tiers of these based on what tier you're fighting in. We'll get to that kind of in a minute. And then once you've unlocked a part, then it's available to be purchased. So let's say I just unlocked the armored cube. I wouldn't have any in my inventory. I'd have to actually come here and buy some for either Robo Points, which are the green ones, or what is it? Galaxy Cash or something, which is the blue. That's the real money currency that you go in and buy, which is over here. Let's take a look at that real quick. So 4,500 for $5, 10,000 for $10, 25,000, $20. Who spends fucking $80 at a crack, especially on a game this early? These rates seem reasonable. I, however, am not okay necessarily with them taking money for a game that they're calling early access and all of this. Never mind aside that, like, online only games are typically kind of always in a state of early access. I think it's kind of weird to even apply that to certain games. They're calling this an alpha. So, maybe there's a lot coming down the pipeline, or maybe this is mostly what's there. We'll kind of see what happens. They're taking money at this point. I don't think you get to fucking call it an alpha if you're taking money like that as a free-to-play game. So, at some point you have to kind of say, well, okay, yeah, well, the game's maybe not where we want it to be, but we need money to keep making it. Like, that's fine, just be honest about it. And don't, I think, like I said, I think the early access label is not the right label to do that under. That said, the rates themselves are kind of reasonable. Looking at what the stuff actually costs here. So, like, all the cosmetic stuff, that's all just real money. Which is fine. That's how I would like that to be. Like, put the, if you want to have dual currencies, whatever, that's fine. Make all the everything that's affecting gameplay something I can earn with in-game only currency, and then put the cosmetic stuff on only money, so that something forces people to spend cash. I am totally fine with that because I don't need to add my name to my ship. But if you want to do it, it's like less than $1. So it's not like they're charging outrageous amounts of money for some of this shit. Other than like, okay, here's like little dev supporter one. These are basically, hey, you're giving us money because you want to support the game, and here's a badge for it. Which is fine. Other than that, all of these are under $1 each, which is fine. You can certainly spend more than $1 on plenty of single cosmetic items in Dota. And then the pieces, you can kind of see are all like, it's not, terribly expensive. Like I said, it seems kind of reasonable. And then even the robo points, they're not like outrageously expensive. You will get, 200-300 per battle, especially like if you're winning, 200-400. If you're getting destroyed really early on, maybe not so much, but so yeah, let's just hop in real quick and kind of take a look at what a battle looks like. Now, I have not played like World of Tanks or those kind of games, but this is kind of what I would imagine some of that to maybe be like. So you kind of get dropped into arena. There seems to be about 3 or 4 different maps, a couple of snow ones and a couple of Mars ones. And there's numbers there, the 2s and then the 1 person, that's a 1. That's the tier, and that's determined kind of by like how many, the parts are split up into these different tiers, 1 through 10. So if you have some, bunch of tier 1 parts on there and then start adding some tier 2 parts on, you'll get escalated up to tier 2. If you have, one high tier part and then a few low tier parts or whatever, you can get away with like ending up in tier 1 or tier 2 or something like that. So I see some people running around with very bare bones machines, but like 1 or 2 very powerful weapons on it to be in very low tiers. So it tries to match tiers to get it. Generally, you're playing tiers together. Once in a while, you'll get like, we have one poor tier 1 in here. So, and this is kind of the deal. The flying guy going down. So that's the fun thing with these. The flyers, if they're real weak, you just hit them in the right. Oh, everyone up from behind. This is not good. All my armor's up on the front of my vehicle, as are my weapons. So it's very quick, in and out. That's it. 1 life. We're done. We're out of the match. The objective is there are 2 bases. It's a kind of king of the hill type thing. You have to get to the opponent's base and hold it just by being there for X amount of time. The 4 blank hexagons up there next to the timers are for each side, how much time they've captured for. And that does not reset, like if you have a couple guys on your beacon and then you kill all of them, that does not reset. If they almost had it captured, somebody comes along, gets the last couple of seconds, that's it, you're done. But so yeah, and that's, once you die, you have an option to keep spectating like we were, and you can pop between different people, or you can exit, come back out, and then you have to repair your vehicle, which I have set on auto here, so let's turn that back off so that the next match you'll get to see what that looks like. So a couple options here, nothing too spectacular. Quality is just this fastest to fantastic settings thing. I hate that shit, but early access, whatever. Again, you're taking money, so you can't necessarily hide behind that if you're taking money like that, in my opinion. Like, it's one thing when you're paying for the game, because basically you're pre-ordering a game. It's another with free-to-play games, because they're supposed to be like free, and they're saying they're not done yet. They're in this state where, like, well, most free-to-play games are MMOs and stuff, and that's kind of a thing that's always in flux anyway. So, what does early access even mean applied to those games? Again, I don't think it's a good label to even use with these type of games. I don't think it's a good way to go. Let's hop out. So yeah, all these brown cubes are my armored cubes here. They're the most heavily armored uh, building material I have access to here. I have this vehicle set up very front heavy, designed to just kind of sit somewhere and pop in and pop back out, pop off shots, duck behind a hill or whatever, and it can take a pretty decent beating up front until I got into tier 2. So I'm at the very bottom of tier 2. If you look down there at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the tiers set out there, and that meter fills up, and as I said, after you put a certain number of parts on your vehicle, you kind of pop over that mark into the next tier. And I've just kind of popped over that mark, but I can't really add anything more to my vehicle there, because up in the upper left there you'll see CPU, and that's basically my part limit, and also seems to be health, I want to say. From what I've been able to glean, I've spent a couple of hours playing this today before I started recording this, and what it seems like is that is also kind of correspondent to health. At the end of match, you'll get like how many CPU damage you did to other vehicles and stuff, so that's where I'm kind of taking that from. And that goes up with the player level, which just seem to be just kind of racking up experience anytime you do damage. Because I've leveled up in matches without actually killing people before or winning the match. So it seems like just anytime you do damage to someone, you're getting some form of experience basically. So let's hop back into another battle here. There's a ranked and a standard mode. There's no difference between like the gameplay, and it seems to just be on a timer, like every 8 or 10 minutes. It seems every 10 minutes maybe ranked matches start, and that's supposed to determine. It says to determine like placement and league and stuff. I'm guessing it is some form of kind of hidden matchmaking, but none of that is really surfaced or anything beyond the tier stuff. So looks like that dude just fell through the world. I'm fairly certain he fell through the world there. So you can see we got a hover dude over there who's not flying very high. After this match, I just unlocked the hover engines and stuff, so we'll take a look at the crafting a new vehicle and maybe make it a flying one. So, and there does seem to be some sort of tagging system too. I haven't quite gleaned that yet. But I have a radar as well that kind of shows me dots, and I'm not sure if it gives that information to other players around me or not. Yeah, my vehicle was not made to turn around fast and deal with that kind of shit. See if I can help this dude out. Alright. Not doing too bad. Looking like we might pull this one out. Oh, we got a guy back there that's gonna wrap around for our base at some point though. So I'm just going to try and keep making my way around here. If we're lucky, they won't have anyone behind to defend. It seemed like in the first tier, it was really just kind of a crapshoot of, who kind of bum rushes who first better. But you actually get, after I moved up the tier, I did actually, you'll see, 2 or 3 people actually stay behind and defend, and people actually spread out and kind of form decent attacks. It does not look like they have anyone nearby to defend. I do not have anyone pinged on the radar or anything. Awesome. We're gonna take this. The sound definitely needs a lot of work too, in terms of just like levels. Like it seems like you're hearing shots fired all the way on the other side of the map, as though they're happening like right on the other side of a cliff from you. Oh, somebody defend our shit. There's a guy at our base. Why is he not? He's probably just AFK'd. Oh, and it's him and me, and that's it. Oh, never mind. I lied. We're gonna lose. Oh, so close. Yet so far. So, yeah, you can see that CPU destroyed, and that's why I'm kind of figuring that CPU also equals how much health you have. So, you know, even though I got defeated, I survived most of the match. I actually did some work, did some damage, helped destroy a couple people. So, you know, got 400. And that's repairing your vehicle each time. Let's take a look at that. So I didn't suffer too much damage, so it's not going to cost me hardly anything. Or you can use one, what is this, a penny? And they give you 100, I guess, or at least my account seemed to start with that. I don't know if that's just Steam users or if that's everyone at the moment or whatever. And then Steam users can get like 1,000 of the Robo points or whatever too, but I mean that's just a couple of matches, so that's whatever. And you can set that up to just automatically do it every time out of your Robo points, which is what I had it set up to do originally here. Just wanted to show that screen for you so you get an idea kind of what that might cost. Let's hop over. So you get 3 slots off the bat, and then you can pay real money for, you know, another slot. They also have this premium membership too. This is kind of whatever. You know, typical. You get more more currency faster, currency bonus or whatever. And then you also get an extra slot for platoons, which is the group function. That I think is kind of not something that you should make a pay thing, but whatever. It changes it from 3 to 4, and you know there seems to be what 10 to 12 people in a match or something like that per side. I didn't actually count at all. So, but yeah, let's hop over to the garage here. You can see that here real quick. So yeah, platoons. So I only have 3 slots. You get 4th slot for being premium or whatever. I wouldn't do that. Nobody should do that. Especially right now. I would say, like, yeah, let's get it out of the way. I would say go check this out if you have any kind of interest in this stuff at all. Because it doesn't cost you anything other than time. It is free to, you know, figure out what's up. I'm gonna need a block to start off of here. So, oops. Hop into our cube inventory. And we want to set up a seat to sit in. Because again, these aren't actually robots. You're piloting this thing. It's a ship or tank. And now, early on, it seemed like, to me at least, that if you got your pilots, like if your pilot seat was exposed and you were just getting hit in the pilot seat, you would basically get destroyed immediately. It seemed like either by destroying the blocks immediately around the pilot seat and making it detached, or by destroying the pilot seat itself. I'm not sure. So my strategy after that has been to put some frickin' armor around the pilot seat. There's window cubes in here. Fuck that shit. That is cosmetic crap. That is a way to get killed. And so on my tanks, or on my tank that I have too, at the moment you can get in through the top because I had to remove a couple of blocks to get an extra gun on there. But how I was doing it is actually entering through the bottom here, so there's just a single block missing in the bottom, and other than that you can't get at the seat. And that seemed to be working out pretty well. Again, until I got into the higher tier, and now I'm facing people who have higher level weapons and stuff than what I have the armor for. This is kind of the highest armor that you would see in the tier 1, but kind of the lowest thing that you see in the tier 2. Alright, how are we gonna attach these? Oops. And there's a test mode in here too. Let's get the radar sensor on here. Come and close that with my pilot's seat so it's nice and protected. Doesn't get destroyed. Because of course, if the part gets destroyed, then your radar detection goes away. In this case, since I'm going to be flying around, I feel like I'm most concerned about actually protecting the bottom of my vehicle. So let's see here. Alright. I haven't messed with any of these flying things yet. So let's just get into the practice and see how this handles real quick. Oh, I see. You probably get more lift out of higher tier engines, because yeah, I can only. That's about the extent of my lift here. Not as impressive as I was hoping. I was looking forward to getting these flying engines, but I guess, like I said, higher tier ones, seem like they would give more height, because I have seen people going higher than this. Whoa. Okay. That's interesting. Oh. So yeah, that's Robocraft. It's on Steam, IndieDB, a couple other things I think from their site, of course. You can check that out now. Again, it's in alpha. On Steam, it's in the early access program. If you're at all interested in this, I would give it an hour or two of your time. Don't give it any money yet, because it's nowhere near quite there. But judging it on where it's supposedly supposed to be at, I think there's something here. It seemed really dumb at first. The first, maybe 20 minutes or so that I was looking at it seemed really dumb and repetitive, and then I don't know, something triggered, and it's not awesome, it's not great, it's not perfect, but I played it for a couple hours before doing this, so it's not terrible. And again, it's only going to cost you your time, so it's worth a couple hours of your time, but maybe not much more than that. So yeah, that's Robocraft. Thanks for watching.